Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, I want to take you through the various text functions that we have in Excel, their basic usage, and how you can use them for everyday work or via analyzing data. These text functions, they are very useful and they can help you to clean your data, and you can actually use them for data validation. So let's just relax and we'll go through them one after the other and how basically you can make use of them. Now I will be starting with the clean function. I have this data set of this employee, so I'll be starting with the clean function and we are going to see what it does. Though this function is not that popular, but if you are extracting data from other sources like from the web or other applications, you will want to use the clean function to get rid of some non-printable character like tab and some other things. So just press your equals to and say clean, and then it says remove all non-printable character from text such as a tab and other stuff like that. So just say clean, but the good thing is that it only takes one argument. So if your data does not contain such characters, it will return the data unchanged. So for example, if I want to say I want to clean the pay, this is the monthly pay. So if I want to say clean for it, it will actually return the data as long as it does not contain any printable character. So that's how you can use your clean function. Very useful when you are getting data from other applications or from the web. Now we have the trim function. The trim function is used to get rid of spaces from text string, unwanted spaces from text string. You can use your trim function to get rid of them. So we say trim, and then also it takes only one argument. This is the text. So this time around I want to use the name. Now I'll put in this text string and then I'll press my enter, and then you can see that that's gotten rid of this excess space in my data. So I'll just click and apply down to apply down. So you see that that's gotten rid of even the trailing spaces, the spaces before and the spaces after, and the extra spaces in between our text. The trim function will actually help you to get rid of it and actually clean your data very well. So also we have the len function, which counts the number of character in a text string. It returns the number of character in the text string. So if I say length and then I want to count, let's say it takes only one argument, I want to check the length of my staff ID. I want to actually check them. So it returns 1512. Actually that's 4 characters. So if I apply down, you can see that in some cases I have 5 characters. So this will actually tell me that something is wrong with that, because the rest of the data there are 4 characters while this one is showing 5 characters. So in real life you can apply some of these functions. When you get raw data, you want to work on them, you want to validate them, you can actually use some of these functions to clean it and validate them. So and that's why I've divided the text function into subgroup. These ones we are going through, I call them cleaning and validation. You can actually use them to clean your data and validate your data. So my employee ID, they're supposed to be 4 characters, but this one is showing 5, which means that something is actually wrong with it. So just going through at a glance, I know that something's wrong with it. Now that's one aspect. Now the value function. The value function, look at the definition. It can be used to convert a text string that represents a number to a number. Now what does that mean? Now for example, if I want to actually validate my staff ID, my employee ID, by just say value, just one argument. Now pass in the argument into it. Now press on enter. Now if I apply down, telling me that these ones, they are values number. Now this, you can see it return the value error. This one also return the value error, saying that those ones, they are not they contain other characters. And if you look at it critically, you can see that this one is having the K character, which is a text, and this one also, I guess this last 0 is O, instead of 0 is O, and that's why it's returning error. So this function is actually very useful. We are dealing with numbers such as account numbers or phone numbers. You can actually use the value function to validate whether you don't have other characters within those data. So they are very, very useful. So what I can do right now is just that I'll come here. I know that there's something wrong with this, and then I'll change it to 0, and then it will actually return it. But let me just return it for the purpose of this lesson. And then also the end function also is used for validation, to check for numbers. So we say equals to end function, and the argument is just 1. The end functions convert a non-number value, date, serial number, to true. Then you say end, and then you pass in the argument, and you say your staff ID, you pass into it, and it return the value for you, 1512. And then if you apply to the other cells, you see that for those ones that has other characters, it returns 0 for them, it returns 0 for this also, as we have in when we use our value function. So you can actually see that these are for data validation. You want to actually check whether you don't have other characters within your numbers. And then the T function is used to check for text. So equals to the T function. You pass in your argument, just one argument, and press enter. Now if the character or the text does not contain the text, it will return nothing. But if it contains a text, it will actually return the text. And you can see that this 1526, and then we have the K, it contains a text, and then 152, and then we have O, it contains a text. But if all other that does not contain a text, it actually returns nothing. So the T function, the end function, the value function, they are actually used for data validation. So you can make use of them in your everyday work. Now we proceed to the text functions, which is of course very wide. You can actually use this to various customization, various custom, depending on what you want. But basically the text function, you can use it to create dates depending on what you want. Now for example, we say equals to text. Now this is the value. Now I want to look at the higher date, and we want to check for the full date. Now if you look at this date, this is 2022 June 09. Now I want to actually convert this into a full date. So I'll put in my argument as this, that is the value, and then my comma, and it says the format, the text format. Now what I want to do is that I want to get the full date for this higher date. So what I can do is that I'll just put into quotation and say TDD. The 4D is for the full day of the week. Now looking at this date, we don't actually know whether this is a Monday or a Tuesday or a Thursday. But looking at this, if you pass in your argument this way, your customization this way, it will actually return the actual day of the week. Now let me just close this and press on my enter, and then you see that this date is actually on the Thursday. The June 9, 2022 is actually Thursday. Now I can go on to edit my formula this way. So I'll just say, I'll give it a space and say DD, the actual day, and then the MMMM representing the full month, and then YYYY representing the full year. So we have this. So this day is actually Thursday, 9th June 2022. You can do various customization depending on what you want. Only the month, you can actually do that by saying equals to text. Then this is our value, and then my comma. Then I want to extract only the month. I'll simply put into quotation and say in 4 places, close the quotation and press on enter, and then I've extracted the full month, which is June, and for all others. So if I want to extract the full year, it's very simple. Just that same format, the text function, pass in your value, and then put your year into quotation, and it will actually extract the year for you as we have it here. And then if I want to extract the day, which I've done earlier, it's equals to text. So there are a whole lot of customization that you can do. Then this is our value, this date, and then I want to actually extract the day of the week. So I'll just put in the 4D, and I'll close the quotation, I'll press on enter, and actually return it for me. Function that we can use is the exact function, which you can of course use to compare two text string or any value that you want to compare. So we can say equals to exact, and then we want to compare this monthly pay and the actual pay. So we say this, and then our comma, just two arguments, the first text and the second, and then if the two are the same, it will return true. Any other thing, it will return false. So this is false, and this also is false. The numbers are not the same. And also another thing you should take note of is that the exact function is case sensitive. So what do I mean? For example, if you say go, this is in uppercase, and then you come here and say go, this is in lowercase. Now we say equals to exact, I'll say this, comma, and say this, and then it returned false. You can see that it's case sensitive, and then equals to this, equals to this, it should return true. You can see it should return true, but for the exact function, it actually returned false because the exact function is case sensitive. So let's go to other function. We have the text function now. We are in the text function now. Now I'll take you through some of the text function that you can use to manipulate the data in order to get better result. Now we start with the concat function, which can be used to join two text string together. So we say equals to concat, and then you say text1. So I want to use this function to combine this first name and the last name to make a full name. It can be used to join any text string together. So I'll just say this, and then the text2 this, and you can see that it has actually combined this first name and the last name to make a full name. But the limitation is that you can see that there are no spaces in between. So what you can do is that, let me go back, what you can do is that you create a space. So we say equals to concat, I'll say this, and then your comma, and then your double quotation, put in space, close the quotation, and then you've used that to create a space in between the two texts, and then you put in your comma again, and then you put the third text, then you press your enter, and then you have your data, first name, last name combined together to make a full name in a more excellent manner. So the concat function can be used to join text string together like this. It can be any text string, it doesn't matter. And we actually can also use it to join array of text together. It will actually work. So we also have the Textjoin, which is actually similar to the concat function. So we can say equals to Textjoin. This is it. So it is used to concatenate. So we start with the delimiter. That is, what you want to separate your text. If you want a comma, you can put in a comma. If you want a space, you can create a space. No, that is the delimiter that will separate your text. This time around, I want a space. And then, do you want to ignore empty cells or you want to include empty cells, depending on what you want? But this time around, I will say true, and then comma, the last argument is my text. So I'll simply combine this text together and press my enter, and you can see that that's actually join the text together. So this is actually similar. And also you can use the ampersand to join text together. So that's another text function. You can say equals to this is my text one, and then put in your ampersand, this like this, create a space for it by putting your double quotation like this, and this time around, no, sorry, don't have to have a so let me just edit the formula. So this way, and then put your ampersand again and join the text together, and then you have it. So you can actually use your ampersand, this sign, to join text string together. So you can see that we've used three different functions to achieve similar result: the concat function, the text join, and the ampersand. And of course we have the lower. Let me just let me fix so that I can navigate here and there. All right, thank you. So we have the lower that can be used to convert your text string to lower cases. So only one argument. This function takes only one argument. So say equals to lower, and then say your text. So let me say I want to this full name, I want to convert everything to lower cases. I'll just put in the text and I'll say enter, and you have it. You can see all converted to lower cases. And then the proper function, it simply we capitalize the first text of every word, the first character of every word. That's what the proper function does. Say equals to proper. This is the proper function, proper, and then pass in your text. Let's say this text, then press your enter, and you can see that it has actually capitalized the first text of each of these names. So I will simply apply down, and then you have it this way. So the upper will simply convert your text string to upper cases. So we can have it to be equals to upper. These functions are pretty simple because they take only one argument, and then I put in the pass in the text, and then you can see that that's actually convert everything to upper cases for me. And then the left is used to extract text from the left side of your text string. Say equals to left. You can see return specific number of characters from the start of the text string. So let's say I want to return there are only one argument is compulsory, and then we have this is actually optional. So you can say, let's say you want to return the first 5 letters. Now you can simply put in, I'll explain in 2 ways. You can simply put in this text and then press on enter. It will return the first letter on the left. But if you pass in the second argument, which is the optional argument, let's say left, and it says this, and I say I want to extract 5 letters from the left. I put in my 5 and I press on enter, and then I will extract the first 5 letters, and then I can simply apply down. So the right is opposite, similar. It is used to extract text from the left side, right side rather, right, sorry, say right. Of course, it returns specific number of characters from the end of a text string. So say right, the argument is similar to the left. So you can simply put in this. If you didn't put the second argument, it will return the last character. But if you put in, let's say you want the last 2, then you can say comma and put in 2, and then it will return this ES from Jones. And then from all others like that, we return the last 2 characters. Now the mid will return the middle letter depending on your specification. So I can say equals to mid, equals to mid. Now it takes 3 arguments. The text, let me use this. I want to return this, and then your starting letter, let me say from 2. So it will start from M. I'll say 2. Sorry, I'll put in my comma, and then I'll say 2. That's my starting number. I'll put in my comma, and it says number of character. So let me extract 3 characters. So the 3 character will be M-I-L. So M-I-L. That's what I'm expecting that I should return, and you can see that it's actually done that for me. So those are the basic ways in which you can use all these text functions. This text function can also be combined together. For example, you can combine the proper and the trim function, the upper and the trim function also can be combined together. So all this can be combined. Then we have other text functions like the character, the char, the character. It takes a number from 1 to 255. Now if you say equals to ch character, and then it says the number, and then you press on enter, and then you apply down. So all this number, it has Excel has a character for each of them. So any number from 1 to 255, if you use the char function, it will actually return the character that is represented. For example, if I change this 999 to, let me change it to 241, and then you see it returns another character. This 3, if I change it to 50, and you see it return another character. This 150, if I change it to 199, and see it return. So from 1 to 255, it actually, if you use the char function, it will return the character associated with it. And then we have the repeat that can be used for repetitive purposes, equals to repeat. And then if you put this 2 arguments, how many number do you want? I can tell Excel to repeat this letter A 5 times. I'll put in 5, and then you see we have A. Now hello, can tell Excel using the repeat word, the repeat function, to repeat this hello. Let me repeat it 10 times. Press on enter, and then you have hello 10 times. So that's just the basic usage, although it has other usage. And let's go to the find function. Now the find function basically find a text string within return the starting position of one text string within another text. We can say equals to find. Now find text, this is the text I want to find, and then within there's only 2 compulsory arguments, the third one is optional. Now I want to find bread within this text string. Now if I didn't include the third argument, it will actually find the first one that you can see join baked bread. Now this bread is on the 12th character. It's starting from the 12th character, and then it has found it. And now you can see this second text says John baked bread and Mark loved bread. Now this second bread, this is the second bread I want to find. This is the second one. So I want to include the third argument now by saying equals to find. I want to find this bread, comma, within which text, this text, and then I want to include the optional argument now, which is the starting number. I want it to start from character, the 13th character. I'll put in 13 this, and then you see that this last bread here is on the 33rd character. It's starting from the 33rd character and is able to find it. Now what about if the text you have passed into the find function is not within that the text that you are looking for it? So it's going to return error. Now with this example, so we can say equals to find. Say equals to find. I want to find joy, comma, and then but we know that joy is not within this text. So if I pass in this text and then I press my enter, it will return a value error. And then finally I want to talk about the replace function. The replace function. So these are just the basic argument. You have the old text, you have the starting number, the number of characters, the new text, and then you can use it to replace it. So we say equals to replace, which replaces part of a text string with a different text string. So we say equals to replace the old text. This is the old text, comma, and then the starting number. Now if you look at the bread here, as we talked about it in the find, is starting on the 12th character. So the starting character is 12th. This is it. And then the number of character for bread is 5. And then I want to replace it with cake. Instead of bread, I want to replace it with cake. And then I say cake, and then I press my enter. And then you see that John baked cake. Now here it says John baked bread. So it has actually replaced bread on the 12th character with cake. So that is that. So we can then apply this down, and then you see that this is, I want to replace this bread, the one on the 33rd character, and that's why I've specified 33rd here, 33 here. So it has actually replaced this bread, the last one on the 33rd character, with cake, as you can see in my the answer that Excel has provided. Thank you everyone. This is where I want to stop for now, and that's all I want to cover. If you find this interesting and if you have learned anything from it, kindly give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.